Hello my beautiful weebs, and welcome back to another video. Today Otaku Sensei will be recommending the top 10 anime where the main character has power similar to God level. If you're new here and happen to enjoy this sort of content, then please don't forget to subscribe as well as turn on the notification bell. And for the people who are already subbed and like the video before it actually starts, know that we appreciate you. Also, we've been partnered with GamerSupps, so if you guys want to buy waifu cups or energy drink, make sure to use code OTAKU at the link in the description. And it would be great if you guys follow Otaku Sensei on Twitter. That being said, let's start the video. We kickstart this list with B, The Beginning. The story takes place on the islands of Cremona, where a vigilante runs amok. Celebrated by some and hunted by others, the notorious Killer B takes justice into his own hands, armed with a sharp blade and superhuman abilities. Unable to apprehend this renegade, the Royal Investigation Service, RIS, calls upon the expertise of Keith Flick, a seasoned yet eccentric detective who was relegated to the Archives Department following a personal loss. As crimes in Cremona begin to escalate, from stealthy executions of wrongdoers to sophisticated strikes on public figures, it soon becomes clear that there is more than one person responsible. With the help of his impulsive sidekick Lily Hoshina, and unexpected aid from the elusive Killer B himself, Keith begins to unravel plots involving secret organizations, domestic terrorism, and human experiments. When the involvement of the IRS extends beyond the scope of justice, the extent of the government's corruption, as well as the trustworthiness of close allies, are thrown into question. In ninth place, we have the 12 Kingdoms. The story starts like this. Yoko Nakajima has only ever wanted to be normal. She does what she is asked, gets good grades, is the class president, and even helps her classmates whenever she can, but because of her red hair, she has never fit in. With her pushover attitude, Yoko lets classmates take advantage of her, so she has nobody who she can really call a friend. But on an otherwise ordinary day, a man who claims to be from another world barges into Yoko's classroom and bows before her. This elegant blonde-haired man, Kekai, claims that Yoko is his master and belongs to the throne of his kingdom. However, their first meeting is cut short as Kekai has been followed by otherworldly beasts called Yoma. He is able to escape with Yoko to his own realm, but two other classmates, Ikkyu Asano and Yuka Sugimoto, are caught up in the madness as well. Unfortunately, their troubles have only just begun, as the Yoma attacks leave them separated from Kekai. Alone in this strange new land, these ordinary students must learn to fend for themselves or die. In 8th place, we have C, Control, the money and soul of possibility. C is set in the world where Japan goes through a financial crisis that causes high rates of unemployment, crime, and suicide. The series revolves around Kimimaro Yoga, a 19-year-old boy raised with his aunt after his father disappeared and his mother died. A scholarship student of economics, his only dream is to live a stable, ordinary life. One day he meets Masakaki, a mysterious man who offers him a large amount of money if he will allow his future to be held as collateral. When Kimimaro accepts the money, he becomes an entree, short for entrepreneur, and is drawn into the alternate reality of the financial district, where entrees make transactions using a special currency called Midas money. In 7th place, we have Tales of Zysteria, the X. Legends tell of a race of divine beings known as Seraphim, whose unseen influence is felt throughout the world. Those with the ability to commune with the Seraphim became known as shepherds, the most pure-hearted of which could even be granted a Seraphim's power. While some would praise these empowered shepherds as living paragons, others would fear their strength and call them demons. Sori is a young human who has spent his entire life in the Divine Forest, a holy place where he lives in harmony with many Seraphim. Enraptured by the legends within an ancient tome, he makes daily excursions to a nearby ruin in the hopes of learning more about the Seraphim and their history, along with his Seraphim childhood friend, Mikleo. One day, he is trapped by a cave-in alongside his friend and young knight named Alicia, who is investigating a series of natural disasters that have been plaguing the world. When Sori discovers that the Seraphim may be involved, he resolves to leave his homeland alongside Alicia, aka the female main character, and find the truth. In 6th place, we have Kekai Sensen, or in English, Blood Blockade Battlefront. Pursuing photography as a hobby, the main character, Leonardo Watch, is living a normal life with his parents and sister. But all that changes when he obtains the all-seeing eyes of the gods, at the expense of his sister's eyesight. Determined to help his sister, Leo decides to leave home in the hopes of finding answers to what actually happened. And the place to find such answers is Hell-Salem's Lot. Hell-Salem's Lot, formerly known as New York City, is a place where a gateway between Earth and the beyond opened years ago, forcing people and creatures from the other dimension to live together. There, Leo unexpectedly gets recruited by a secret organization that helps to keep peace and order in the terraformed city. I strongly recommend watching Kekai Shounen if you haven't watched it yet for some reason. All the characters are unique from secondary characters to main ones. There is no generic bone in their bodies, not in the slightest. Action scenes are very well done, as well as comedy scenes. Highly recommended show. In 5th place, we have Big Order. 10 years ago, a fairy by the name of Daisy appeared and asked the child Eiji Hoshimiya what his one and only wish was. Although his wish remains a mystery, the consequences were catastrophic. In an event called the Great Destruction, the world started to fall apart as everything collapsed and countless people died. Damn, who hurt that child? Couldn't he just wish for some V-Bucks or something like that? Thankfully, no need to worry about it happening again because now Eiji is a high school student whose only concern is his sick sister. In the years since that event, thousands of other people have also received abilities to make their heart's desire come true. These people, called Orders, are believed to be evil and are hated by the general public. However, some of these orders are after Eji's life and vengeance for those that he killed. Will Eiji be able to survive the numerous assassination attempts and attain the esteemed, prestigious victory royale? Well, you're gonna have to watch that 10 episodes to know the answer. In 4th place, we have Platinum End. Mirai Kakehashi is a young orphaned high school student who lives with his abusive aunt and uncle after the death of his parents. One day, Mirai decides he cannot take it anymore and attempts suicide, but is saved by a guardian angel called Nase, who also gives Mirai special powers. Upon learning from Nase that his aunt and uncle were responsible for the deaths of his father and mother due to their jealousy and hatred towards them, Mirai uses the power that she bestowed to him in order to enact justice upon them. This is only the beginning of Mirai's story, however, as Nase soon after informs him that God will retire in 999 days, and 13 candidates to replace him were selected, one of which is Mirai. To make matters worse, not only is Mirai forced to take part in the contest to decide the next god, but some of the other candidates will do anything to win, including killing all the other competition as soon as possible. To combat these ruthless killers, Mirai forms an alliance with several candidates who share his goal: to win the contest without killing any other competitors. In 3rd place, we have 𝐿ᴜ Sins. This anime tells the story of a world where robots subjugated humanity after becoming self-aware. Their leader, Breaking Boss, ruled over the world with an iron fist. Pun intended. One day, a mysterious girl named Luna was summoned by the people in order to bring the salvation of mankind. Fearing her as a potential threat, Breaking Boss sent 3 of his most powerful cyborg warriors, 𝐿ᴜ, Dio, and Letta, to dispose of Luna. 𝐿ᴜ, the strongest warrior, managed to track down and kill Luna. However, this triggered a cataclysmic event which set into motion the end of the world. Hundreds of years later, the world's atmosphere is filled with poison, and due to the inability of most remaining humans to reproduce, as well as the constant threat posed by the robots, humanity is on the brink of extinction. Robots fared slightly better, fearing death as much as the humans do. The poisonous environment quickly causes their mechanical bodies to rust and corrode, forcing them to regularly replace their damaged parts, if spare parts in good condition can even be found. In this wretched time and place, 𝐿ᴜ, who had disappeared following the assassination of Luna, returns with no memory of who he is or what he had done. In 2nd place, we have The God of High School. What to say about The God of High School? It's a show about teenagers fighting. It is the Korean Dragon Ball Z. It's My Hero Academia tournament arc without the arc. Last one. It's shonen or whatever that means. And since by now most of you are familiar with the show, here's a quick summary of it. Taekwondo expert Jin Mori is invited to participate in a tournament where all martial art styles, weapons, means, and methods of attaining victory are permitted, with the prize being one wish for whatever the winner desired. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Dragon Ball would look like if it was set in a high school. And we have Greyman at number 1. The central character is Alan Walker, a recruit to the Black Order who started training to control his innocence after it destroyed the Akuma of his late guardian, Mana. The story begins in a villain of the week fashion, where Alan teams up with various members of the Black Order to search for innocence while battling Noah's demons on the way. Later, Alan and his friends are ordered to track down Exorcist General Cross Marion, Alan's missing teacher. Their search concludes with them stealing one of Noah's transportation devices, referred to as the Noah's Ark. This was made possible since Alan has been instilled with the consciousness of Nia D. Campbell, the brother of Mana and the exiled 14th member of the Noah family, who the Earl wishes to have back. Cross reveals that Nia plans to use Alan as a host upon reincarnating, effectively erasing Alan eventually. During the third Exorcist Insurrection story arc, Nia's consciousness begins superseding Alan's body. Now hunted by the Black Order, the Noah family, and a humanoid innocence called 𝐴pokryphos, Alan goes into hiding as he searches for a way to end Nia's resurrection. During his journey, he realizes that his late guardian Mana, alongside Nia, has a strong link to the Millennium Earl. He then decides to journey to the place where Mana and Nia grew up to learn the truth about them, and their connection to the Earl. Following his escape, Alan is tracked by the Black Order, 𝐴pokryphos, and the Noah. When the 𝐴pokryphos is distracted by the Noah, the Earl finds Alan, who is possessed by Nia. During this encounter, it's revealed that the current Earl is Mana D. Campbell, Nia's brother. Both were once the original Millennium Earl, but were split and became enemies. This video ends here, and I want to especially say thank you to all those people who support us through Patreon and channel membership. Also, make sure to follow Otaku Sensei on social media for update-related things, and remember to use code OTAKU at GamerSupps, link in the description. We hope you enjoyed this list as well as got introduced to new shows, and if you did, then leave a like, share with your buddies, and like always, subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time, try to keep the comments section wholesome. Peace out.